Yeah, I wanted to explain my thoughts because I don't know. I feel like I just need to explain myself about this game. So, okay, so he played the e4 and I did the e5. Oh, and someone asked in the VOD about how we decided colors. We drew for colors like an hour before we went live. Oh, my opponent was Daniel, as you can see. So I'm just trying to learn the e5. He played d4, and I guess I think I've looked at I looked at like one line in this once, maybe twice. But the reason I was spending so much time was because when he played d4, it was a moment like where I just like I didn't remember anything. It's like, what is this? What's going on? What happened? And so I had to just sit there and like remember what it is. And I was like, is because I remember things backwards. Like I remember the end position of a line, and I'm like, okay, but where did that come from? So I had to figure that out. So like I felt like the moves were in there in the back of my head somewhere, and I just had to like rip them out, you know. So yeah, it's like a meme now where I didn't. I'm not good with what the opening names are. For some reason, I just have a terrible memory when it comes to names of openings, even if I can remember the moves. Yay! Thanks for the 500 bits, Latinum Blonde. Yay! Even though I can remember the moves, remembering the name is difficult for me sometimes. I don't know why, but I like didn't know what the Berlin was twice, so I made Daniel laugh, saying like, what is this? The Berlin?" And so that's like what I do, regardless of what the opening is now. I'm like, the Berlin defense, because it's funny. Okay, so I took it because it's a pawn, and he took, and I went knight f6. And I remember looking at Daniel's opening tree. This is what I was going off of. One time I thought I was going to play him at like some tournament, and he ended up playing something else, so we didn't get this. But before the game, I looked at his opening tree, and I noticed that he would get to that position with king d1, and his opponents would not play the correct move. But I didn't remember what the correct move was either. So, okay, so I was able to remember that queen e7 is kind of forced here. It's kind of... Here I actually wasn't sure about... The prep I had done months ago was coming back to me here, because I was like, this is the thing with the c4 and the bishop a6, I think. How do I make that happen? Oh, I play queen e7, that forces this, and then I go here, and then yay, and now I know what I'm doing. I still was spending time because I didn't really remember it. I also was kind of acting like I didn't know it very well, because, I don't know, because I'm a stinker, and I'm just metagaming. But I actually knew what was happening here, kind of, vaguely. I knew that sometimes g6, sometimes d6. I also, the only move I knew if he had played h4 here, oops. All I knew is that you play queen e6, and then the comment and the quick starter I looked at was with a bar fight ahead, but with no details on how to play this position, so I was like, I'll just figure that out, I guess. We'll have a bar fight. So yeah, I played g6 here. I don't know what this arrow is. I assume it means rook b8. And I knew that he played this line, and that you give check, and that king d1. And that's where my knowledge ended. Or no, yeah, in the opening tree, people weren't playing this check very often against him, I think. I put an exclam on that for the thumbnail, because it looks nice. So here, I didn't know what was happening, so I had to figure it out. And though I was just aware of this idea and this idea only, just reroute the knight to d4. That was all I knew. And I wasn't sure if I should play knight e7 now, or play bishop g7 and allow a queen trade and then do that. I really just didn't know. I think I spent a lot of time here figuring that out. And I think I saw, like, what was I afraid of here? Not sure what I was thinking. I think I thought about this move for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe, I think, like, queen b3 was, like, I thought maybe annoying. But I guess I go queen b6 here, I guess. I don't know. I just didn't know what was happening. And I was like, okay, well, maybe we'll get an interesting endgame if I do this, was mostly the reason I decided on bishop g7. Oh yeah, king d1 is the best move, because, I don't know, like, you're not gonna go back. Why would you retreat a piece? I mean, bishop d2 is just hanging a pawn, and then this is hanging a pawn as well, so... I mean, just by elimination, you can arrive at king d1. But, okay, I played bishop g7, and I was like, alright, we'll trade the queens, and then I'll go for this idea that I know. Now I'm on my own. Thanks for the raid. There's a lot of chat happening that I'm missing. I'll try and read it after. Daniel wouldn't have been able to use the opening tree because I've never played this in my life, so that wouldn't make sense. Okay, so he played... What was I was thinking he was gonna play this move at some point. Not here, I guess, but... Yeah, no, king c2. And I played c5 to follow up on my idea. Bishop c3, I believe, or no. He played rook d1, yeah. Now I have all these problems with my d-pawn. And I was thinking that, okay, I have to put my bishop on b7 at some point, because right now it's just kind of dumb. But if I'm gonna do that, if I'm gonna move pieces backwards, I want to create as many weaknesses as I can, and I want it to develop with tempo if possible. So the reason I didn't like knight c6 immediately was because I don't know. I don't remember. I had a reason. I played rook b8 because the commentators didn't like rook b8. But my point was that I'm gonna put the knight here and then induce a weakness on b3. That was, like, my point. I thought otherwise he's just very solid. If he has a different setup, like with a pawn on a3 sometimes, like this. And then this move or this, I mean, this isn't as good, I don't think. Because this isn't, I mean, this check is important too, because I get intermezzos. I don't know, that's what I was thinking about. So that's why I played rook b8, because I was just trying to get something to attack, you know? Because right now, I'm about to have a lot of problems, because I can't castle very easily, and my pieces are developed, but just in a very strange way that isn't helping me. So here I played knight c6, and if a3, I mean, he's just making a huge weakness, so he's not going to do that, so he played bishop c3, and here I played knight b4 check. And this was also the point, because e6 is kind of a huge threat here, which is extremely annoying, because if we look at this position, okay, I can't castle because the pawn on d7. He's threatening e6, so I'd like to castle to defend that threat. And king e7 feels like not something I want to do. I don't know. Maybe, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like he's going to double his rooks somehow. It's going to be scary. Sometimes he might even have rook d7, like, depending on things, or maybe even e6 here. But, okay, so my point behind knight b4 is, okay, this is check, so either he has to move away from the bishop, so when this happens, I can just take it, or he has to step into a pin, and so I can take with check, so I get an extra move. Or he can take it, which is, I thought, would be like a horrible move, because now I have an unopposed dark squared bishop, and I already provoked those dark squared weaknesses, so it's not an option. So he played king g2 or king b2, and I played bishop b7. And after a3, I was actually really happy with my position here, because after this, which I mean computer doesn't like, but okay, if I just have to play knight c6, I mean all my pieces suck. This bishop is extremely misplaced, and it's not doing anything. But I thought that after this, okay, the knight had an important job of guarding the d4 square. And I'm creating imbalances, so now he has doubled pawns that are weak, and I don't have this bad bishop anymore. And I didn't see how he's going to keep the bishop pair, because I'm eventually putting my knight on d4, and I thought he might just have to take it, depending on the situation. And also knight d4 comes with threats, so I was very much enjoying this position. I thought this was just good. And I had already seen, when I took on f3, bishop h3 was the first move I looked at, which is what my opponent played. And I had already kind of decided on castles. I spent some time to make sure anyway. Here I was thinking maybe he was going to play rook d5, though. And I thought knight d4 takes. And here I have this, and there's no rook e1. So he can't take back right away. And I was just going to castle, maybe play d6, and it's opposite colored bishops, and he has a lot of weaknesses, and my rooks are kind of active. Or at least this one is well placed, I mean. So I thought this would be a good try for something. So otherwise I'm just sitting there doing nothing, I thought. But yeah, he played bishop h3, which I had already looked at. But I just have castles here. If I just play something like... Hold on. What was the line? I saw the mods were looking at some line here. I guess they deleted it. Oh yeah, this doesn't work here. Because in this line, he does have rook e1, and I'm just losing a piece. So that wasn't my point, though. And also here, there's this. My point was I castle, and now my king is safe. If you take, maybe I take here. And then also if you take with the rook, I think I still take here, and that's quite bad. So I'm threatening lots of stuff. Like this week, I do think it was worth giving up the bishop. I mean, maybe it's not technically, but that pawn is always a problem with this strong knight in the center. And it's connected with a lot of other weak points, I thought. Yeah, so he played f4, right? Yeah, he played f4. He just defended the pawn. But now there's d6. Here, I mean, that does nothing here because he just takes back. But d6 is strong here because he captured quite quickly, if I remember correctly. And I had already had this all worked out after d6 that he couldn't take. Then he did, so I had to think about it longer, but I couldn't figure it out. I think he was just, I don't know. I don't know why he would do that. Thought maybe bishop g2 here, maybe even rook d5. But the point is that I'm damaging his strong center, and I'm opening up my bishop, and I'm just getting ready to activate my pieces. And now I knew that when f4 happened, there's always going to be tricks with rook b3. So it's just kind of a hard position for white now, I thought. This is just bad. Yeah, if I just take back... oh wait. Yeah, why can't I take back? Seems like a good move. Yeah, because if he goes here, I have knight a5. Which I saw this in a different position. I didn't look at it here. It doesn't work in the position I saw it. Damn it. So I can take back here. I played bishop f3. Or bishop c3. Here I looked at this. But this just doesn't work here. So I was like, okay, I'll just... Yeah, I didn't look at taking and then knight a5. I thought everything I did had to be with tempo here, otherwise he just takes on c7, and it's annoying. So I took on f3. Yeah, and if I take back here, then this just sucks. Because, yeah, I get the d4 square, but I'm down a pawn. But, again, I have, like, an intermezzo. I just do this right now, and he doesn't have time to do this because I check and I pick up the bishop. So now my knight is cemented on d4, and I'm going to take back next move. He played b4. It seems like a pretty, natural move. I take back. And a5 is tempting a lot of the time, but he just plays b5 and he has a passed pawn, so I don't think it's ever a good move, really. So he played rook e1, and then he played rook f8, rook fe8. What are these arrows meaning? Oh yeah, I didn't see this move coming. I thought I was just doing really well here, but rook e3 is very good. And I missed something here. So I looked at... Okay, so I played knight e2 check. And a lot of... he kind of... I thought he had to play king b3, because otherwise, I mean, I'm just maybe taking a pawn, and I have a passed pawn that seems kind of good for me. Apparently it's not good. I don't understand, really. Oh yeah, it's because of the tactic that we both missed. Yeah, so here, I didn't consider this very deeply because I was like, okay, whatever, um, he just goes here. Like, what was the point of any of this? But since his king's on b3, this is a fork, which I didn't see. So I didn't think I could take on a3. So that's why king b3 is bad. Here I can just take, and I'm just winning a pawn. Like, this is terrible, especially with the king and the bishop placed like this. This seems like an easy win, so that's very unfortunate. I didn't see knight c1. That's why king b2. King b2 I should take on f4. Yeah, but here I played knight takes f4, which is a blunder. So those all my blunders in this game were on f4. I thought it wasn't such a big deal to move my knight away from d4 because I was kind of assuming I was going to be able to put it back. Because I didn't see how he was going to quickly just get rid of the c-pawn and just completely get rid of my outpost that quickly. But he played bishop d7. And then here I played rook e to d8. My point was... Well, in this position... Yeah, when I... Okay, sorry, this happened a while ago. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, so when I took on f4, it was because I looked at bishop d7, and I looked at this line with takes, and I was seeing these things happening where I put my knight here, and he can't stop forks, and his bishop is just pinned. And I was like, I don't see how he defends against this. But then we get here. Okay, so if I wasn't thinking that this just works out for me tactically, positionally, never do this. Why would I ever do that? But I thought it worked out, just concretely. I looked at this whole line. And I was like, okay, so I'm threatening rook d2. Let me make that red. I'm threatening rook d2. I'm threatening knight c5, and I didn't see how he defended against that because I was like, even if he goes here, I still take. And he can't go here because I go here. But I missed two things. First of all, I didn't see rook e5. I saw putting this rook here, but for some reason I just, when I was looking at this back here, I didn't see that. But then when I got to this position, I was like, oh, he has rook e6. And I thought about it, I'm like, I think it's okay, actually, because if I don't have this a-pawn, I think I'm losing. But since I do have it, I think it might be okay. And the reason is, if he tries to get his pawns going too quickly and then the wrong way, my king just quickly runs over and blockades on the dark squares, and then I go pick up his pawns. Very simple. Since he has a light-scored bishop, he can't kick me off of the dark squares. And he can't support pushing his pawns. It's a light-scored bishop. So I was like, I thought I was doing very well here. And I didn't know what he was supposed to do. He played c5, which I thought was like a candidate move for him. But I also thought it was bad because I'm bringing the king in, but now with tempo. And I was like, I don't see the point because I kind of ruled out c5 because I thought this was the continuation that had to happen. Oops. I play rook c8 and he can't defend this. If he plays c6, then I just bring the king in and I blockade. And this pawn is doing a fantastic job keeping the king out. So I was confused to see this, so I played king e7. And then if you actually watch the VOD, it's kind of funny. You can see Daniel forgot about this idea. He reached for his bishop in this position, and then he put it back, and he said he was about to hang his bishop there. He was about to play bishop h3. And then he thought for a while and played bishop g4. But here I just go here. Bishop e2 is forced because I'm threatening to just win the pawn. And now, okay, yeah, first of all, for some reason I wasn't considering that he's going that way, not that way. I thought I was like, okay, I just completely cut his king off, so what's the big deal? But I played rook b4 and he goes here. It's really confusing endgame now. I don't know how much time I had. But, okay. My rook went from d8 to b4, and it's behind the pawns now. I don't see how he's possibly making anything happen here. And my king is so close. It's just... My king is close to the pawns and his is in a box. So I thought I was winning here, which I am. Hello, Mastermind Chess. No, I'm not going tonight. I'm just gonna do some tournament prep, kind of rest before the weekend. I don't know which one I'm talking to, but are you playing tonight? Yeah, so the bishop is passive because it's kind of stuck babysitting this pawn. And if the king steps too far away, then I can just shove the a pawn. No, it's not a coincidence. This is my brother. But then here I made kind of a bad move. You'll never guess what it is, or what square it took place on. I didn't hint at it earlier or anything. I'm trying to remember why I even did this. Like, what is the point? Oh, I remember. Okay. Yeah, so, okay, blunder number 2. Again on f4. I was starting to run, like, slightly low on time. Thanks for the sub. It's not a... It used to be a Prime sub. I noticed that. But for the 12 months. Yay. Yeah, so I thought, okay, I mean, f3 is bad, and if he plays b6, then I can at least have some... I thought I was just bringing the king in the d7 and c6 and winning, was my point. Not sure what I'm supposed to do here. I only have one winning move. That's kind of weird. Yeah, I thought my king was close enough, but it's not. I don't know. I was not calculating. This is a position you have to calculate everything that's happening with the pawns every time. And I was playing intuitively, which is bad. I already pronounced his name wrong several times, so now we just kind of dance around it like we do with Yellow Mod. Sag. Okay. Yeah, so, okay, king d7's the only move that wins. I was like, I'm in the box. I don't know. I'm in both boxes. So I was like, I don't know, I think it's okay. And I just went here. Now it's equal again. He plays b6. And you can... So the thing with this isn't exactly a retreat, because I'm not going backwards. But you can... I think this is just like a good way to tell the stress that I was feeling at the time. The fact that I was moving my rook back and forth. Because I couldn't figure anything out. Yeah, it's just like kind of psychological. You can tell that things are going wrong if I'm just moving my rook back and forth. Even though after I played rook f4, the best move is to put the rook back on b4. But yeah, my last few moves were just like moving the rook back and forth. So it's good that I was able to recognize that I made a mistake and just go back. But I also thought, okay, but now this is weaker because I can bring king in. But what did he do here? He played bishop f3. I think he could just play bishop a6 is the problem now. And then there's bishop b7 and he has a wall, I guess. It's just equal. Which I didn't see. But he played bishop f3, which is, you know, makes sense. I think it's about the same. It should be about the same, because if I go here, you could also go bishop b7. So I don't understand why it's saying dubious. It's the same evaluation. Yeah, I should... That's why my king should be on d7. I mean, I just like, wasted a tempo. Because, yeah, after b6, I should be able to play king c6, and then he just loses very easily. But yeah, here I'm, like, kind of realizing that my king is too far away, so I play king d8, because king d7 is... Well, I mean... It's not really... I don't have a whole lot of squares I can go to on d7, so, I don't know, king d8 felt okay. The mods made arrows to the dark squares, I assume, so I can't lose my pawns. Bishop d5. And here I was like, yeah, I guess I'm not winning. But I still kind of wanted to win. I remember I played h6 kind of quickly. Again, because I'm just running low on time. And I don't want to accidentally hang one of my pawns, so I'm putting them on dark squares. It's kind of the whole idea. And then I played f4. I mean, you could probably guess what I played. But it was a blunder. And I miscalculated something here, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't have done this. But even if this had been a rated game, I don't think I would have taken on f4, even if I did think I calculated it correctly. Because it's just not worth the risk. It's just not worth it. I don't have to do it. I could just do something else. Just go put the king on b8. But I was a little annoyed about bishop f7, so I was just not sure what was happening here. If even, I don't know if that's even a threat, but I just don't understand what's happening here, basically. I think he has this, at least. Yeah, it's just a draw. If I go king b8, I don't know. I don't really understand what's happening. Maybe bishop c4. And yeah, now I can't really push this that easily, I guess. So, but yeah, I just, like, didn't want to believe that this was allowed. And the way I calculated this was after c6. Okay, so, like, at first you look at rook f6, right? But that doesn't work due to, I would think, like, you can just play bishop g2 or something. Get out of that. Or just bring the king in, I think is actually easier. Yeah, he doesn't just have to push a pawn and be dumb. But I was like, okay, but I have rook f8, and now how are you supposed to promote if my rook is here, and if you push a pawn, I do this, and if you push this pawn, I do this. So I was like, what's the problem? But then he went here, and I didn't get it. I was like, okay, but now I do this, and now I'm touching your pawns, and everything's okay. And then he played c7. I was like, oh fuck, I'm losing. I can't take this. This is a loss. So I decided to play king d6, which I think is a try, at least. Because for now I'm stopping this, and now this is kind of forced. And now I've just, like, oh, I didn't do that. I thought king c6 was maybe a waste of a move, because when he plays b7 I can just do this. So I went here. I want to get rid of my pawns, and then, like, hope he mouse slips IRL, which was the plan. But yeah, it's over now. I mean, it was over for a long time, I just didn't know it, and I resigned here. But yeah, I don't know why I kept taking on f4. That was kind of weird. Why did I do that?